This was my dream job that turned into a nightmare. What people don't realize is how many of those animals that they came and saw just disappeared.
They got animals from him. They had at least 2 lions from him.
In our community, this is going on right under our noses.
A local zoo. Investigations into alleged animal abuse. A fire at an off-site barn. And a direct connection to one of the biggest international docuseries on Netflix. All happening right here in our own backyard. Good evening. I'm WFRV Local 5's Nate Stewart. And if this all sounds like another episode of the series Tiger King, you're not far off. 30 minutes outside of Green Bay is the former site of Special Memories Zoo, a quaint roadside zoo that is now shut down after investigations into animal care. If you watch the Netflix series Tiger King, you know the name Joe Exotic, the flamboyant, charismatic zoo owner now serving time on federal charges of animal abuse and attempted murder for hire. And there's a direct connection to Exotic and Special Memories Zoo. But before we connect the dots and show you how the two are linked, we look at the history of the zoo and some of the legal issues and concerns about the treatment of animals that go back years. A warning, some of what you're about to see and hear is graphic.
This is a small community where everyone knows their neighbors, everyone goes to the same sporting events, and we're a tight-knit community. And in our community, this is going on right under our noses.
This was my dream job that turned into a nightmare.
It felt like a reality TV show, honestly.
These ladies are speaking out about their experience as workers at the now closed Special Memories Zoo, which operated in Greenville, Wisconsin.
I had been taken to the Special Memories Zoo many times in my youth with my family.
Bethany Gengler worked there in 2014 for just under a year.
And I thought it was the coolest place ever because you could get up close with the monkeys and the different animals.
Haley Lynn worked there in 2017 as a zookeeper. Rachel Williams was hired in 2012 and worked there for 3 years. And Amy Miller was hired in 2013 and spent 4 years at the zoo. All of them say they took their jobs to get more experience in caring and understanding animals for their careers moving forward. But they say things started off strange from the get-go.
There wasn't any written instructions on how to feed the animals or how to take care of them. So I actually kind of came up with my own on a Google Doc.
It just seemed like a ragtag, just in shambles kind of an operation. Even at 16, I knew that this probably wasn't what regular zoos looked like on the inside.
The zoo was regulated by the United States Department of Agriculture, who is charged with doing yearly animal welfare inspections. Although the USDA regulations do not require an inspector to schedule inspections in advance, the regulations do require a facilities representative to accompany inspectors. On some past occasions, Special Memories zookeepers in charge were not around when the USDA arrived to complete the inspection. During one attempted inspection in March of 2007, the USDA inspection report states the licensee did not have a responsible person available to conduct an animal welfare inspection. The dealer's facility was not able to be inspected for compliance with the Animal Welfare Act regulations and standards and to ensure the health and well-being of the animals. Another inspection in 2011 stated the same thing, that a responsible person must be available to accompany the inspector on an animal welfare inspection. We did not obtain the actual inspection records for 2007 to 2014 other than the 2 attempted inspections.
So the different species of animals, all the birds.
In 2015, when Bethany decided to quit, she filed a complaint with the USDA about all the things she witnessed, sending them pictures of the conditions and the animals. Warning, these images are graphic.
Feces under enclosures, probably, I think it was 6 inches high with mold growing on it. Rodent trappings infesting the feeding areas.
It got to the point where there was green algae growing in the water bottles that we would, fill.
All the animals, like all the hoof stock, all like the farm animals and stuff, they always had horrible hooves. They were always overgrown.
And so eventually the animal, would just eventually die. I mean, they would succumb to their illnesses.
In some instances, they would be kind of just gone the next day. and we wouldn't know where they were.
What people don't realize is how many of those animals that they came and saw that just disappeared.
The USDA went to conduct an inspection at the end of April in 2015, but once again, a responsible adult was not available to accompany officials during the inspection process. However, the USDA was able to conduct an inspection the following month, citing special memories for things like contaminated feed, soiled bedding, and lack of adequate water for non-human primates. After the water bottles were filled, we observed that each affected animal immediately went to the water bottles and were drinking non-stop for a minute each. The USDA inspection went on to say that the amount of time the animals drank suggested that they were very thirsty.
And the water is a huge deal. Animals cannot go very long without water.
The USDA filed an official warning of violating federal regulations, stating that a sufficient number of adequately trained employees shall be utilized and potable water must be provided in sufficient quantity to every non-human primate housed at the facility. Special Memory Zoo owner Donna Wheeler addressed those issues to Local 5 back in 2015.
There really aren't any major issues. If there were major issues, the USDA would be at your door, and every animal you see here in my zoo, a couple hundred of them, 300, would all be gone.
In the midst of the 2015 inspection, the zoo made national headlines for stolen animals.